Hey guys, Matt here. Wanted to do a video. I just got something back from CGC, but there's a story with it, and I'm gonna kind of have to go through this just to give you an explanation. So in November, one of the pressers I know was doing a special for, I think it was $9 or $8 a book up to 25. So I took advantage of it and did 25 books for him to press, and these were more of the modern comics, and I say modern, 80s, 90s, and newer, that I thought would probably just need a decent press, almost like a quick press type thing, and then I was actually having him ship them to CGC for a 25 book Prescreen 9/8. This took place, I purchased them through his website, sent it over to him. He had pressed them, finished them, and then mailed them out in January. And I just got notification this week that they were coming back to me. But I got the notification from him that something had gone wrong. And what it appears he had told me is that out of the 25 book Prescreen, 4 actually made 9/8. And I was like, I like to think I'm a little bit keener on that, especially when I'm sending them in for pressing. And he agreed, because he pressed them, that these were, potentially good candidates that, maybe I'd get 15 to 20, somewhere in that range, which I would have been okay with. And at the worst, you're talking like 12, something of that nature, based on the books that get sent in. But that did not happen. So he had told me be on the lookout for it, take a look at the books, see what's going on. We had both discussed that there may be some damage that occurred, whether it's in transport, whether it occurred at CGC, I couldn't tell you, but that, it caused him and myself concern. I got them back today in a box that didn't remind me of CGC, so I opened it up and I was like, what is this? So I have the stuff here and I'm going to look at it. I took it out of the box, but the 4 slabs are actually, there's cardboard on each side, so we're gonna see which ones made it. And then I've got 2 large ones, which didn't. And we're gonna take a look at that. I will tell you that this particular presser did tell me he'd be happy to repress any books, that if there was some issue with them, and that's not a problem. And I told him, we got to see what the damage is and what happened, because I wouldn't send books out for pressing and then for grading, and do a pre-screen that I didn't think were at least likely candidates. And I'm not saying that I couldn't be off, but when he tells me as well that that something wasn't right based on that, then we've got an issue. And he had indicated, I can't see the grader's notes. It's one of the reasons why I like to submit usually on my own, but this was a good special, and I wanted to go through him, but there were grader's notes on the rejects, and some of the grader's notes were ones which I could see, like he had told me, and I don't know which books, and that's why I've got to open them up and go through it, and then go through it with him. But some of them had looks like a spine stress lines. I mean, that can be real minuscule, but ones had creasing on it, and that kind of caught me off guard, because the ones I sent in at least didn't appear to be creased. Maybe some dents and some little minor things that I thought could be pressed. But so we're gonna go take a look at them and see what happened. I haven't seen it, so I think it would be well served to do it on camera just in case. And so we've got a big one and another one, and I'm going to take out my blade, and we're going to cut this, and we're going to find out what happened. But this goes to show you, stuff happens, and it's really unfortunate, because these, I can't remember what books I sent because it's been so long, but it's definitely concerning nonetheless. So let me put this down, bring this over, and we're gonna start looking at these. So the first one that got rejected is Ghostwriter. You know, just looking at this, and I'll have to look at these a little bit more off camera, but the book actually looks really good. So I'm not quite sure, at least from this, I cannot tell you based on at least the cover, and I'll have to take these out after and go through them and see what happened. I think I sent in 2. I did. Here is a second copy of Ghostwriter, and this is Ghostwriter number 21. Again, I don't see it. You know, granted that CGC is grading much tougher, but at least from here, I can't see it because that's on the actual Mylar. But we'll have to take them out and see. Nothing that I can visibly see. Maybe it was just very tough grading. Next one is Avengers 227. Again, this one was pressed. What's interesting is, but this may have just been switched by the presser, because I only use Fullbacks and Mylars, and this is not in one of my bags and boards. That is for sure. This one, like I said, it's not in one of my bags and boards, so it's kind of tough, but I will have to take a look. There's nothing I can discernibly tell on this. But like I said, I'm not going to tell you that I am perfect. I am definitely not, but I am usually better than 4 out of 25. That's, you know. This one I knew was going to be a tough one, and I think he did a good job because this was fingerprints. So this is the Yosagi Yojimbo. This is the foil edition. This was a convention exclusive, the 35th annual one, and this one just had a lot of fingerprints on it, and it looks like there are still some, but I can't tell. And again, this is not my bag and board, so I will have to talk to the presser and see if maybe it got switched out. I could see maybe up there. I don't know if that's any scuffing or if that's on the this particular bag. I'll have to look, and I'll have to be extremely careful with taking that out. But that's disappointing. This is a super disappointing one. Captain America 6, first appearance of the Winter Soldier. Again, this was a really nice copy. So I just don't know. And you know, it may be one of those where I do what I did last time. I submit them back on a 9/8 pre-screen, and that's what happened with the X-Men 192 when it hit. So this is a big book, because in a 9/8 this book is about $400 to $500. So I am really bummed out about this particular one. But again, I'm just not seeing it unless I'm completely off. Let's see what we got next. And another Alpha Flight number 1. This book's going for about $200, give or take now. Again, there looks like small binary tear at the bottom. Let me see if I could show you guys that down here, and I don't know if the lighting is going to do that, but that could be the reason on this. Again, this one's definitely in one of my Mylars and Fullbacks, so I could tell. Spine looks good. Yeah, I really, I don't know till I take these out, at least from what I'm seeing so far. Another one, X-Men number 2. This is a newer book, so you know, to hear that it's not a 9/8 is a little disappointing. The spine looks really good on this one. Again, it's not one of my Mylars, so I'm not quite sure where that's getting changed out at. But this is definitely not my bag and board. I don't use these flimsy ones. Next one, Totally Awesome Hulk number 15. Again, let me show you. And obviously what CGC does is when they do the pre-screen, they do put a sticker on the label to kind of, because if this would hit, that would be in essence the number that would go through it. So I'm going to try and type in these numbers and see if I can pull up the grader's notes. If not, I will contact my presser to do so on this one. This one looks really good. I'm shocked. One little indent in the spine, but it's not a color breaking tick. I don't know. Those are really, really tough ones. Same thing, not my bag and board. This one's not my bag and board as well. Spiderman 2099. And this one, I can definitely see there's a dent in the spine on this one. And I will take a moment to show you that. And I don't know if you'll be able to see it right down where my finger is, but there is a dent in there. And I can tell you there wasn't a dent in there going in, at least not that I recall on this one. But I didn't want to send it to him because I wanted someone who really knows how to press these type of covers, given the foil, to make sure. So these are just disappointing at this point. This is Infinity. This is one of the, I believe this is the variant cover. Yeah, this is the Adams variant cover. This is another one. It's a good looking book. I just don't get it. And I will investigate. I may take some photographs and attach them to the video after to see. Next one. Web of Spider-Man number 1. This is kind of just taking all the the good emotion out when you send in all of these really nice books and they just did not hit. I see a little bit of a dent in the cover, but that's absolutely pressable. So I'm really surprised. Again, these are not my bags and boards. These are really flimsy. I tend to use, if you've watched any of my videos, I use all Mylar, Gerber Mylars and Fullbacks. I like that protection, and all of these that I'm putting are not my bag and boards. So I have to find out if that was done by the presser or if that's something that happened at CGC, because it just doesn't make sense how you would send them in bags and boards with a particular one and I'm not getting the same one back. And I did that for protection. So I'm upset about that. This particular one, the Old Guard, if you've seen the Netflix series, which is was really good. This is the cover A, and this one has dents all up and down the spine. So I'm not quite sure why that is. And again, this is not in my bag and board. So I don't know. I've always gotten my rejects back from CGC in my same bag and board, my Mylar, and just to give you an idea, so this is X-Men 125 that I sent in. I mean, this is beyond flimsy. I mean, beyond flimsy. It's in a loose bag. I mean, this is not how I keep my books. So this is very upsetting to me. But I don't know if this was done on the pressing end or done on the CGC end. This is one of the reasons why I always get my books back usually from whoever I have press them, so I can have control and follow them and track them. And so this is a lesson, again, to me. I just have to have control of my books even after they've been pressed. you know, that 20% that you get from the dealers, sometimes it's not worth it, because it's disappointing when you see something like this. I mean, this is definitely bothersome to me. I'm not even pulling out my same bags and boards, you know, which is the money I spend on the protection. And those Gerber Mylars and Fullbacks are not cheap. So this is definitely a problem. Same thing, not my bag and board, wobbly. Amazing Spider-Man Annual, number 22. You know, when you send in 25 in Fullbacks and Mylars and you get this crap, I'm really upset. Looking at the books, looking at this book, I honestly can't find anything wrong with it. This is just very upsetting. Now, this is one of my Fullbacks and Mylars. This is how I send my books. It's sturdy, it's shiny, presentation, protection is really nice. This is Marvel Point 1. This is the first appearance of Sam Alexander. I already have this one in a 9.8, but I did want to send in a second copy to see how we did. Again, just a nice looking book. I mean, it's much easier to see when you see it on a Mylar, even though I know it's glossy, but the book is just much thicker back, so it's more protected and less subject to bending. Again, this one looks really good, and I'm not sure what's going on. And here's another X-Men 134. Look at this. This is garbage. This is just garbage. There's just absolutely no protection on this flimsy. You could kind of even see it's just. I am beyond upset right now to see, you know, this is how the books that I sent in, it doesn't fit this particular bag. It's loose. It's just, look at this. This is just very upsetting. Captain America 277. I don't even remember submitting this book. I have to look. I'll have to double check. Again, not my bag and board. I'll have to check the invoicing and my submission and my presser just to make sure I've got everything. I do have a long run of Captain America, so it's quite possible that some of these got submitted. I honestly don't have a independent recollection of all the Captain America. Here's number 282. Again, these are not my bags and boards. I'm beyond pissed off. Captain America 332, a newsstand. Again, not my bag and board, just crap. The comic itself looks really good. I'm just, you know, I don't even know what to say when you see stuff like that. It's just kind of heartbreaking. Here's a Mylar and a Fullback, and this is Darkhawk number 1. Definitely my bag and board. You can kind of see just the glossiness, how this looks, the presentation, how it fits so much better. It's much more snug. Again, this looks really good. I just don't see it. I don't even see stress lines. But I will have to examine these all closely. But this is unfortunately one of the risks you take sending your books out. And then again, this is another Infinity. This is the Opera, I think, variant. And again, this is not my bag and board. So as you can see, super disappointing. I don't know what happened. I am going to try and investigate and figure out a little bit more. But that is absolutely heart-wrenching when I spend that kind of money, not only on bags and boards, but I send it out for pressing. And then I send it, this is the first time I've ever sent it from a presser directly to CGC where it hasn't been in my hands. And this is a lesson learned, and for hopefully some of you, it may show you as well. I'll be honest with you, I'll pay the 20% and lose the 20% discount any day of the week. I wanted to try it. It's just not worth it because things like this can happen. And now I have 21 books out of 25 that I just completely don't know what happened to. And at least I can tell you that those aren't my bags and boards. So we're gonna have to investigate further. Let's try and end on a good note and see what 4 books of mine did hit. And hopefully, I don't want to see if I get the back. Okay, the back. Hopefully we can make up for some of this heart-wrenching. These are all going to be 9/8 because there were pre-screened, so there's nothing about doing the label. So the first one is, okay, X Factor number 5. It's on the back. That one came back in a 9/8. This is the first appearance of Apocalypse in Cameo. So, yay, we hit one. This is a nice book. I have his first full appearance in a 9/8, and I do remember submitting this one. So at least you know, you can get a 1986 book in a 9/8 back right now with CGC apparently, even though you can look at my other ones and it just hasn't been that well. So that's one. Let's see what else we got. Next one is, okay, Fantastic Four 353. Yes, really happy about this one. This is the first appearance of Mobius M. Mobius, and in perfect timing because Loki comes out, I believe, next week. And so this book has been heating up. When I bought this book, it was a $5 book. I'll try and put the current price right now as to what it's going for GPA wise. I believe when I last checked, it's probably around somewhere between $200 and $300 now. So it's gone up significantly. And I believe I had submitted this one before on one of my pre-screens. It got rejected. And I thought it was great. So I figured, okay, I'll send it for a quick press and resubmit it. And that's what I did in this particular case. And it looked like this one at least paid off. So I'm at least happy that that one came back as a 9/8. Next one, okay, is Uncanny X-Men number 193. So this is the first appearance of Warpath. I do remember submitting this one, and this one came back with 9.8 white pages. This is really nice. Interesting about this book, and I will try and see if you can see on this cover, there appears to be a small binary tear. Let me see if you can somehow see that at the bottom, you know, and I don't know if that's a defect with all of them, but obviously it's still qualified for the 9/8. Everything else about this book looks really nice. I'll be quite honest with you, and this is a 1985, so it looks like, you know, if you look at these three, you're talking just alone 85, 91, and 86, you know, and I was able to get these. I know that those are really right now harder books to get in a 9/8 just because of the way CGC is doing it. I can't speak to the other 21 and see what happened, which means this particular last book, I know what this is because this was a book that I hadn't seen before, so I'm praying. And this is the Thor God of Thunder number 2. And I'm thrilled to get this one in a 9/8. I would have been supremely disappointed had this one got rejected. It was bad enough with the Winter Soldier one, but this one is the first appearance of Gore the God Butcher. and this is the direct edition. And this book, you know, I had sent it, like I said, in the end of November, and then in December we got the Disney announcements where they unveiled that Gore the God Butcher would be the villain and that Christian Bale would be playing him, and then this book skyrocketed. I believe this book right now is about $500. I paid $45 for the raw copy. It looked like a great copy. I definitely wanted to press it just to get that assurance, and it made it. What's interesting is on this particular one, and I'm going to try and see if I don't think you're going to be able to see it in this, but there are some spine stress lines to it. It's definitely not one that I can tell you really breaks color, maybe one little one, but you know, you are entitled to some leverage and leeway with getting a 9/8. This is a 9/8 weight pages. It is a 2013 book, but I can tell you that this is definitely not perfect, but it does show you that you can get away with some things. And I'm hoping, I don't know if you can see it right there. Maybe you could see a little bit of that whiteness from the spine stress, but it obviously it made a 9/8, and I'm really happy that this one did. This one kind of makes up for the entire thing between that one and the Mobius. I really would have liked the Winter Soldier, but I'm gonna have to take another crack at that again and see. So 4 out of 25. Super disappointing. You know, I really at this point can't blame anyone but myself. Either my skills in grading were just not up to par on that date. However, I will say, which is really upsetting to me, is that all of the, I would say 80% of these books are in this flimsy bag and board. These are not mine. These are just, this is not what I use. If anyone's seen and watched mine, this is what I do, the Mylars and the fullbacks. And so, you know, these still look nice. I'm gonna figure out what happened. Some of them may get resent in. I'm gonna definitely talk to my presser who did this one, and I use different pressers, so I'm not singling anyone out. But obviously, I am disappointed that all of these books are not in the bags and boards I sent them in. So we're gonna figure out what that is, and we'll do a follow up. But you know, wanted to leave on a higher note, given the, you know, ones. I mean, just those 4 books alone, you know, may be almost $1,000. So at least, you know, from that standpoint, you know, I'm happy. But I had a number of good books that I just thought were gonna hit that didn't. So lesson learned. All right, guys. Hopefully the next video will be a little bit more on a better note. Happy Memorial Day weekend to everybody, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks.